Hey guys, I'm Dimension Jumper, and today I'll be going over my top 5 favourite Mario Kart tracks from the second wave of DLC. Now, I would say that the second wave is quite interesting. I think it's quite fun. I think some of the tracks are really interesting, and yeah, today I'll be going over some of the tracks that I feel like stood out to me the most in this wave. And yeah, so for number 5 is Calamari Desert. Now this is from Mario Kart 64, and what I like about this track is that I think I think it's one of I would say probably one of the better desert tracks in the game, and 2, I quite like the second lap, mainly due to the fact that about halfway through the second lap of the track, you'll see this ramp that you can go off from, and once you've gone off the ramp, you'll land on the tracks. And I think that's really fun because that kind of puts you into thinking, okay, not only will I have to land on the track, but I also have to think about when the train's coming, because this track has a train going around the circuit, and you have to figure out when the train is going to be coming, so you can dodge out the way. And the train, it does take up the whole track, well, not the whole track, the whole train circuit bit whenever you do go onto the train tracks part. And yeah, I think that's what makes it really fun for me, that it's just that enjoyable and that memorable. And I would say, out of all the tracks, all the desert type tracks, I would say it's one of my favourites. It's pretty awesome, and I do like the way that it uses all of its shortcuts and stuff like that, as well as the second lap in general. As I said, I think the second lap makes Calamari Desert that more memorable. If the ramp lap wasn't in Calamari Desert, then it wouldn't be as memorable to me. It would have just been another desert themed level. For number 4 is Sydney Sprint from Mario Kart Tour. Now, Sydney Sprint is like with a lot of the other Mario Tour tracks in this wave, as well as the previous wave, is that each lap you take a different route. And again, that's really interesting because the first lap takes you through the Sydney Opera House, and then when it comes to the final lap, it will take you back through the Sydney Opera House, but instead of going through the front entrance, you go behind it. And I think that's really, really interesting, and kind of reminds me of some other tracks that are from Mario Kart Tour in the previous waves, and including this wave, where you might go through particular areas again, but in different ways, and that's really interesting. And I do like the middle bit of the track where you go over these ramps areas. That's really cool and interesting. And again, this is a really fun, memorable kind of track, and I think there's a nice inclusion to wave 2, just because I would say Mario Kart Tour is an okay Mario Kart game, even though it is on mobile. But yeah, it's fun, and it's, I would say, somewhat memorable over the other Mario Kart tour that was in wave 2. For number 3 is Mushroom Gorge from Mario Kart Wii. Now, what I like about this track is that it's mainly to do with the middle bit, because throughout the whole track you'll get to see these mushroom stand things that you can bounce off from, and that's held in quite regard in terms of the middle area, where you can just jump off different mushrooms, and this will be divided into 2 different paths. And if you take the left path, you'll see a sort of blue mushroom, and if you jump off from that, you'll glide towards the exit of the cave where the whole mushrooms are. And yeah, I think that what makes me, again, like with Calamari Desert, that I think that what that part of the track makes Mushroom Gorge quite memorable is mainly because of the whole mushroom area and the gliding bit. But it's I would say fairly simple. I would say like if you compare it to the other tracks in this in Wave 2, it's fairly basic, but I think that one makes it memorable because like it's got like a lot of really memorable areas, but it looks fine and it feels just fun, and I think it was a nice addition to this wave. For number 2 was Sky High Sunday. Now this is I believe a new track, I believe. If not, it could have been just added into it so it can be introduced into Mario Kart Tour. Maybe, I'm not 100% sure. But what I like about Sky High Sunday is that it's just an entire track made out of ice cream, and I think that's what makes it really memorable and just sticks out, because it's kind of like Rainbow Road, even though a lot of people might not like that track, or I might think that it's hard and it's got sharp corners, which it definitely has. I would say what makes Rainbow Road stand out compared to the other tracks is that each time it's brought into a new Mario Kart game, it changes tracks, and it changes how the layout of each one, and I think that what makes it really memorable. And with Sky High Sunday, it's really colourful, and the whole thing's in anti-gravity, so again, that what makes it memorable. It uses one of the new features that's in Mario Kart 8, and I do like how in the beginning of the course you can just get a small boost from the rails if you manage to hit them, and that's really cool, just getting a small boost of speed at the start of the race. And yeah, and I think it's just like really cool, and I do like the whole splitting area parts. I think around the middle section of of Sky High Sunday, and it's really interesting to see how this track is using its elements to your advantage. And for number 1 is Waluigis Pinball from Mario Kart DS. Now, what I like about this one is the whole concept of the track, mainly because it's just this giant pinball machine thing. And I do like how the whole track is just like, you've got like, pinballs just going about the place. And I do like how the pinballs are used specifically, because they are used, I think, in 2 areas. One area being the main bit of the pinball machine where you do the whole hit the pinballs with those volley things. I'm not 100% sure what they are, and they just bounce about on the spring things, as well as part of the main track as well. They can just glide off onto the track, and then they can hit any people that might potentially come across that path. And what I like about the track is the main area where the pinballs just go all about the place, along with those spring things, mainly because it just feels really chaotic, and you can feel like any wrong move could put you from 1st place to 6th place. That bit's really, I would say, chaotic if you want to use various items like a shell, fire flower, as well as using the environment around you. I think it's really cool. Also, I really like the theme to this song. I think it suits the track really well. Kind of like how other songs and other tracks suit those courses really well. Like Hyrule Circuit uses the Legend of Zelda theme. Coconut Mall uses the Coconut Mall theme, and other tracks like that. And yeah, I would say that Waluigis Pinball is a fun, interesting, and cool looking track. So that's been my top 5 favourite tracks from Wave 2 of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.